What is up, Chronics? In this video, we'll be talking about this week's Double Money event week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for July 17th through July 23rd, 2025. Now, to mention, we still don't have the Drift Walton out yet. As I've stated in the past, it will probably release with a Drift themed event along with the Drift Tune upgrades for the 4 cars in the following weeks or months. It is pretty strange though, as this is the last Drip Feed vehicle we're missing and Rockstar is doing this sort of weird spacing, but again, we're going to have to wait and see what Rockstar does. Anyway, the current prize right is the Infernus Classic. It's primarily based on a Lamborghini Diablo and has a normal price of about $900,000. To get it for free this week, you have to get top 3 in an LS CarMate Series race for 3 days in a row. In regards to performance, Sim Sports Classics class and is a top 10 performing car in that class for track performance, excluding HSW. It has very good detail both inside and out with a nice engine model, interior, plus it of course has the pop-up headlights, the scissor doors, a decent amount of customization. It's just a really nice overall car. Now the handling is really the only thing that's a bit sketchy during high-speed cornering, but other than that, this car is 100% worth trying to acquire this week if you don't already own it. Continuing to be test ride vehicles, we have the Exemplar, the Click, and the OG Coquette, and all 3 of these are removed website vehicles. And for current gen console and PC enhanced users, we have the Cyclone 2 as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Continuing to the casino podium vehicle, we have the Grotti Furia. It's primarily based on the Pininfarina Battista and has a normal price of about $2.7 million and a trade price of about $2 million. It's in the supercar class and is a top 25 performing car in that class, which seems slow, but that's pretty decent considering how many top performing cars there are in the supercar class. Now personally, considering the customization and styling, I personally don't think it's worth over $2 million, but the fact that you have a chance to get it off the podium this week, I'd say this car is 100% worth attempting to acquire. In terms of the dealership cars this week, in luxury autos we have the Minimus and the LSCM Cheetah Classic. Continuing to Simeons, we have the Lynx, the Wolfsbane, the Vaca, the Bodhi, and the Retinue, and all of these are removed website vehicles. Continuing to the discounts, starting off with the property discounts, we unfortunately don't have any on sale this week, which is a shame. Anyway, continuing to the vehicle discounts, we do have a ton this week, so 12 vehicles on sale, which seems to be a pattern Rockstar is doing lately with the event weeks. I guess we'll see if they keep giving us over 10 vehicle discounts every week. Anyway, starting off at the Legendary Motorstar website, we have 40% off these Russo. So a very nice supercar to drive, obviously without the roof, which isn't too common in the supercar class. It's a top 30 performing car in the class, which isn't too bad, and it has some decent customization as well. Next up, we have 40% off the Bestia GTS. So a mid-tier performing car from the sports car class. The customization is pretty basic with only a few options, but I will say this is a very unique looking car with its shooting brake design. I personally think it's worth it for the unique styling alone. Continuing, we have 40% off the Baller STD. So it's a top 3 performing SUV in the class for track performance, but unfortunately it is held back a bit on most tracks by its low top speed compared to the other top 5 SUVs, but it does have great customization and the newer Range Rover styling, which is great. Not a bad deal at this price, all things considering. Moving on to the Southern San Andreas website, we have 40% off the Nebula Turbo. So this one's in the Sports Classics class and is one of the slower performing cars in that class, but honestly the performance doesn't really matter. This car is a ton of fun to drive with its loose, drift-like handling, and it has some pretty good customization as well. Next up, we have 40% off the Dominator GTX. So this one is a top 20 performing vehicle in the muscle car class, and that's mainly due to its handling, which is phenomenal. However, this car does suffer from these slow handling flags, which makes it go slower over bumps. And the taillight design combining a Mustang with a Dodge Charger is just weird to me. Honestly, I'm not a fan of this car. I'd rather stick with the Dominator GT. Even with its forced convertible top, I still think the Dominator GT is a better car. Anyway, moving along, we have 40% off the Ellie. So this one is a below average performing car in the muscle car class, and that's sadly due to the fact that this one also has the annoying slow handling flags. The customization is also pretty basic, but At least this car has good styling and at least looks nice in your garage. That's really the only saving grace of it, to be honest. And lastly, for this website, we have 40% off the Drogger. So this is the fastest non-HSW vehicle for track performance in the off-roads class, and also the best vehicle in the game overall for off-roading, in my opinion, in general, for mountains, etc. This thing is just such a beast with the power it has, the acceleration, the torque, the suspension travel, the off-road grip. It just does everything so well. And it has some pretty good customization as well. Highly recommend picking this one up this week if you don't already own it. Onto the Warstock website, we have 40% off the Rogue. So it's the fastest propeller plane in the entire game for top speed, with a speed of almost 220 miles per hour, which is very impressive. Plus it of course has various weapons available. Honestly, not a bad deal at this price. Next up, we have 40% off the Weaponized Tampa. So this one has great weapon upgrades, especially the remote dual minigun turret, but they do require bunker research, which might be a bit annoying for those of you who have never done that. And this car has 0 explosive armor, making it an easy target in free mode sessions, so something to definitely keep in mind. Continuing, we have 40% off the Hydra. Now this was pretty much the go-to jet back in the day other than the laser. This was, a personal aircraft that can spawn in helipads and all that, but it really makes you wonder if it's worth it anymore with the existence of the Raiju jet, which is pretty much better in every way. And lastly, for latest travels website, we have 40% off the Seabreeze, which is a prop plane that can land on water. This one can be useful for certain missions out at sea and stuff. And lastly, we have 40% off the Annihilator Heli. So this one already spawns for free at various helipads in the game, so I don't really think it's worth owning. Moving along to the gun van, we have follow weapons available this week and 30% off the Tactical SMG. For double money, we have double money NRP on the adversary mode stockpile, all the time trials, G's caches, and lastly, double money NRP on Mr. Faber work missions. For the weekly challenge, if you complete 5 Mr. Faber work missions, you receive a 100k bonus. For the FIB Priority File Garment Factory this week, it's going to be the Brute Force file. Continuing to the weekly vehicle robberies from the Salvage Yard Business, these only change once per event week. We have the McTony robbery with the Ignis, the Duggan robbery with the Cavalcade XL, and the Podium robbery with the Buffalo EVX, and none of these are claimable this week. Anyway, lastly for the time trials, this week's normal time trial is Coast to Coast. I highly recommend a car with a high top speed for this one. For the premium race, we have the off-road race across the wilderness. And lastly, for current gen console and PC users, the HSW time trial Pacific Bluffs. As always, the HSW Hot Country Drag were the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Drogger. As I stated earlier, this thing is the king of the off-roads Class 1 HSWs turned off, and it has good performance for just off-roading over obstacles in general, across the entire map pretty much. This thing is just a really good overall off-roader, and it does have good customization on top of that as well, so definitely buy this one if you don't own it. Anyways guys, overall this event week is slightly above average, the main highlight being the discounts with 12 vehicles on sale. However, the double money is a bit of a letdown, and there are no properties on sale either, so factoring in everything, I'm going to give this week a solid 6 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Anyways, again guys, thanks for watching, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.